late when he saw them at that last second, decided that maybe the best thing to rely on there would have been just his medevacs that he had, and he was like, okay, I think I've got enough medevacs here with an SCV pull. I should be able to hold this. But that was a very aggressive timing by Jim with those extra gates as well.
So yeah, here we go. We're going into set number 3, guys, on Foxtrot Labs. Down here in the bottom right in the red, the Terran player, he is Maru.
And he is, and he's tied now. 1-1. Went into Foxtrot. And up to the top left, his opponent, Invictus. It's Jim. Yeah, the China is actually the wild, wild west of StarCraft 2.
Does certainly feel that way, actually.
Like, it's cheese or be cheesed over there, man. And not to say that these players don't have really good macro play as well, which we did see actually at WCG last year from some of these Chinese players, as China usually ends up being the second best region for StarCraft after Korea. So you usually get to see it, Max said, and sometimes Jim and some other Chinese pros battle it out against Koreans and also North American pros as well. And these guys are just, they come from a playstyle that's just so aggressive, and they use it so often that sometimes you just don't expect their pushes to do as well as they do, like what we saw in that last game. Maru just either didn't take it as seriously as he thought, or maybe he just didn't, he thought it was going to be a pressure into a third base. He just misread it perhaps, but
yeah, you can see the look on his face where he was just like, oh, I shouldn't have lost that game. Like, he was just a little bit frustrated in the booth after that one. And interestingly enough, we have Jim already sending this probe scout after Gateway on, you know, what could be considered a 2-player map, as there is only one other spawn for your opponent. And I guess he could come in here and possibly harass some SCVs and get some scouting information done here.
Yeah. In Korea, we see a lot less scouting, and
yeah,
I think
we do.
And this actually, I think, goes back to the difference in the regions and how they like to play. Because in China, if you don't gateway scout, sometimes you're going to die to some crazy all-in, some crazy proxy, and in Korea, players play more macro-oriented, so sending a probe scout out like this early would actually put you behind against a player like Innovation, for example, because you're like, oh, okay, he's just doing a Reaper expand. I already know what's up. That was a waste of my economy. But this probe actually got in, saw the gas timing. It's actually going to be a factory and not a Reaper coming out, which he wasn't able to really confirm, but he wishes he did. I can guarantee you that. This is going to be a bit annoying.
Definitely
cancel the
gonna be
Zealot? Nope, not with that eBay.
Yep, there's that engineering bay coming down. And he does have 2 probes down here, actually, with that one that's coming back from the scout. So the eBay didn't really have much time to get done here. But like you said, forces the Zealot to come out and does delay that Nexus. So definitely pretty annoying.
Yeah, that Stalker actually got supply blocked as well here. Bit annoying for Jim. And pretty late Nexus.
The dance of death here between the Zealot and the SCV.
Oh, the SCV is going to die. He wants to get a scout off on that pylon before he does, though. Will he see it, actually? Nope. Looks like he's not going to be able to figure that one out. Might actually be scared that there's a proxy. I would be against Jim. So he's doing an aggressive build himself.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, actually, that Maru goes for the same build, because we saw Jim actually not have the best micro against the Widowmine drops. He kind of just didn't pull probes, didn't react in time, and he ended up losing a lot. I think it was upwards of, in total, I'd say about around 11 or 12, yeah, which is a considerable amount of damage. And, you know, we saw stats yesterday when Innovation did this against him. He was just, like, moving probes in, like, 4 different directions at the same time. Like, stats just, I think, has better more experience against this kind of build, and just better micro against it, whereas Jim didn't really show that to Maru. So Maru going to do the same thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see a Widowmine go out there on, like, Pride Rock for a second and come back. I guess he was thinking about putting that there, expecting perhaps an Oracle to fly in that direction. I think we're going to see a DT drop. Well, let's see what Maru's drop does first. But I think your assessment of Maru's choice here is absolutely correct. I think Maru's like, oh, well, if I do that much damage again, I'll probably force him into doing an all-in, but this time I'll be ready. This time I'll scout it. And there's the Dark Shrine, so it is going to be that DT drop, a Chinese favorite. Artosis' favorite as well. And looks like he's got in that drop 2 Hellions and a Widowmine, just like before.
And what do we got here for Jim? He does have the Mothership Core to defend the natural against these Marines, which they almost definitely will force that Nexus Cannon to come down in the natural. Whereas back at home in the main, he's only got 2 Stalkers. And here we go. Widowmine comes out. Does he micro a bit better this time? Yes, he does. Much better, but he's got to defend against the Hellions as well. Hellions already getting 2 kills here.
Ooh, and they actually get damage on that Stalker with the Widowmine. He's almost able to kill that Stalker. Very, very low here. In total, 5 probes killed. Much better reaction, but he needs to put those probes back on the mineral line. Losing a lot of mining time here.
Oh my god. Okay, there we go. He's got that observer.
Now, the Scout on the Dark Shrine, of course, is very important. That is what allows him to prepare at home with that eBay. So I don't think this DT drop will get a lot of damage done, especially considering the Warp Prism would have ideally been like at Maru's base right now for the timing of the Dark Shrine to finish, which just is not happening. So he's got so much time to get these turrets up. He's going to want a turret in the main base too, though, because this is a drop. This is not a walk-by DT.
Yeah. Maru's coming in for another drop in the meantime. And will miss the Warp Prism moving out here. But again, with this kind of build, you're going so tech-heavy. You've only got 2 Stalkers here. And once again, probably going to do some decent damage. 2 probes going down here. And now being forced to fight with these probes as well.
Yep. A lot of probe damage here, and he's just got so many of those in the red, too. A few more Hellion shots.
He actually saves the Widowmine somehow in the midst of all this. 5 probes do go down in total.
It's a Raven on the way, Valdez. Like, this is not looking good for Jim. The 1 DT just got warped into the drop, which is all the way to the bottom left of the map. It's so far away. By the time he gets over there, he's got a scan saved.
It's going to be like 4 missile turrets lined up or something.
Well, I don't even think the Warp Prism is going to get the drop off. And if it does, there's going to be a scan waiting to blast that DT into oblivion immediately. Look at this. He's waiting with his Marines. He knows exactly what's coming. Okay. Oh. Oh, my God. I can't believe that just happened. Intentional or not.
Drop, man. And the Warp Prism probably going to be taken out here by the Marines that can be boosted after. So the drop doing absolutely 0 damage. And with the build that Jim did go for, of course, very far behind.
Press 1 in chat if you think it's not fair that Psychic's play in the GS or in the SSL, excuse me, not the GSL. It's like he knew the exact location the DT would be dropped. He had a depot ready for him.
And man, well, back at the base for Jim, he is adding 2 forges and a bunch of yeah, very, very sad. Here, there's even a Raven there behind the missile turret, just in case, I guess. But Jim is just trying to get the upgrades out while making a bunch of gateways without a 3rd base here. It's definitely going to be hard to get all of this at the same time while making Colossi.
Yeah, he's taking every risk in the book of risks, man. I think that this is the only way to actually win, to be honest. But we're talking about Maru here. Goodbye, Observer. That's a Raven. Maru is some of the best in Korea at splitting against Colossi. Just ask anyone who played against him on Outboxer.
Yeah. 3rd base at Outboxer's Maru's death ground.
I don't see a world in which Jim can stabilize after what's about to happen here. Get ready. Cover your eyes, Protoss fans. This is Maru we're about to see. He's like, Colossus? No big deal. Here we go. Widowmine's to zone. Nexus Cannon goes down. He might wait here.
Yeah, could possibly also go for a drop. He does. He's got 4 medevacs already. And even if a couple Marauders do get left behind here, he can also elevator those up. And another scan goes down here at the natural just to see if Jim is responding. And here we go. Mothership Core does not have enough energy for another time warp. And he's going to get those Woodmines down here.
That Raven Sing at the back here actually could drop a PDD. But look at this position. Colossi actually doing a lot of damage, though. There's a Seeker Missile on the Colossus. Actually gets pulled back. Good micro here by Jim. And suddenly, well, he actually ends up taking that damage anyways. But suddenly this looks like he might be able to stabilize a little bit better than I thought. His 1-1's about to finish, which is going to give him an upgrade lead. He's about to have... Oh, that's an Observer finishing up. That's not a Colossus out, that Robo. I'm sorry, everybody. I thought he was about to have another Colossus out here. I don't know. Let's see what this damage gets done here.
He does lose the Widowmines. He's only got a couple left here in the medevacs. But again, he's got to move his entire big, slow army once again back in the main.
Yep, and Maru is picking off structures left and right.
Yeah. This isn't really like a killing blow. It's just trying to do more and more damage.
With the Bagon, he can't make any more Colossi. So Maru doesn't have to make any more Vikings. He just keep making medevacs to keep healing his weakened army. He's even boosting them across the map to make sure they can reinforce faster. And this is just eventually going to whittle him down here. And look at this, dropping on top of the Stalkers. Not enough Stalkers to defend this many medevacs.
GG.
GG indeed. And after he held that first drop off, I thought he was going to avoid that Seeker Missile damage, but then he ate all the damage not only on that Colossus, but the surrounding units as well. And then I think Maru just had too much. His economy was in a place that was so stable that he could just keep rallying units out. And he killed the Bay, which meant no more Colossi. And he knew that too.
Yeah. I mean, he just had too much momentum. StarCraft is a game of economy, and if you're going to dump a ton of gas and even minerals into a build like DT drops and it gets 0 damage done, like literally 0, I think it like hit the supply depot once, and that was about it, which he just like repaired, you know? You are going to be unbelievably far behind, and a player as good as Maru is not going to let you get back in the game.
It's so funny that that depot worked out like that, and yeah, the depot was actually still building when it hit, so the depot just finished. Like, the damage was essentially repaired.